Malzahar. So Malzahar is a champion who got nerfed in this patch. Movement speed went down by 5 and his auto attack range went down by 50. The auto attack range nerf means he's a little unsafer when he goes for a CS, and you know how movement speed nerfs works, it just decreases the win rate by like 1%-ish. But he's still an OP mid laner as they have not nerfed his damage, his cooldowns, and his utility, if he has Riley's Crystal Scepter of course. Now here are his runes and masteries, you know, basically the same shit as before. I know some Malzahars get Zhonya's for surviving a bit longer, but you know, after Rylai's and Morello's Nomicon, you can get whatever you want. Coming at number 4 is going to be Twisted Fate. I have not seen any nerfs that have come to Twisted Fate in such a long time, but he's still going to be relevant because nothing has really changed with him. So he's still going to be one of the best mid laners as of patch 6.14, you know, just because of his global ultimate, his utility, his super cards of death, and you know, all that jazz. But he is coming at number 4, so there is going to be a lot more mid laners who are better than him. But anyways, here's the build for him. I think this is a standard build for him, and it really hasn't changed. Next up, coming at number 3 is going to be Kennen. So I've seen a lot of Kennen in solo queue, and you know, he's surprisingly really powerful, at least in my opinion. I mean, the way they change his ultimate just feels really strong in him. I've tried him, I'm like, ooh, he does a lot of damage. Like when he's in the middle of everyone and uses his ultimate, it's just like, holy shit. I don't think I've seen the old Kennen do something like that before. But yeah, he just seems like this wombo combo champion who destroys team fights now. Like, you know, Kennen can go mid or top lane, it doesn't really matter. He's good in both roles, but I think he's going to be my new top laner while we have my Malzahar in the mid lane. Like, he becomes really good in the mid game and late game and doesn't fall off as hard as he did before. Anyways, here's item build for him. This was all copied from a player called Bob Jenkins, so, you know, don't ask me the questions, ask him. But also I changed up the masteries a little bit for something I would prefer. Next up, coming at number 2 is going to be Cassiopeia. So Cassiopeia has received some buffs in earlier patches, but has recently started coming out of the closet. So what she provides is a lot of damage, a lot of chasing potential, you know, with Riley's Crystal Scepter plus her Q. And I mean, yeah, she just does a lot of damage. One thing that sucks about her is she is really hard to play, and you gotta know how to microwave Cassiopeia. But yeah, I actually ban her in Champion Select whenever I have a ban and I'm not really thinking. She's my default ban because I find her really annoying, especially when she gets ahead and can dual Baron with the jungler. Now here is a recommended build for her. And now finally coming at number 1 is going to be Victor. So Victor got a nerf where his first upgrade now costs 1,250 gold instead of 1,000. So it's going to be a little harder to get towards that double E, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what it's called. And maybe just like 1 or 2 minutes more of farming until you get to your next upgrade. But other than that, once he's past that point, he's still going to be Victor, he's still going to be strong, and he's still going to be outputting a bunch of damage. I mean, Riley's Crystal Scepter on him is super strong, right? So he's got a ton of utility also. And I mean, he's still going to be Victor. Super strong. Number 1. That's why I put him at number 1. Anyways, here's the recommended build for him. And now we're going to be doing some honorable mentions, and first up is going to be Nivea. So I think personally Nivea is a really strong champion right now, but a lot of, I'd say mid lane players don't really think so, and would rather play more of the popular champions, while Nivea is kind of a champion you don't really want to play unless you really like her for some reason. So I guess that's why a lot of people don't really want to play her, but she is really good in my opinion. Now here's a recommended build for her. Next up, we're going to be talking about LeBlanc. So LeBlanc is a champion you should play if you're a mid lane main and you're really good at her or something. But if you aren't, and say maybe your mid lane is an off role, then you're going to suck ass at her. But I mean, some people know how to carry with her, so play her if you're really good at her. Now here is the recommended build for her. Alright, so we're going to be done the honorable mentions. Now we're going to be talking about some questions you guys asked in my last mid lane tier list. So Yaya Siroti asked, what about Melisandre? I think she has great tits. Next up, Alexa Damushushev asked, what about Zed? So we received a lot of nerfs after the QSS changes, and like no one plays him in the mid lane anymore. And you'd think he'd be played a lot more mid, but to be honest, it's only, I've never actually seen him in my solo queue games. I've seen him maybe once, but that's about it. And you'd think he'd be strong right now, but I don't know, I guess he isn't. He's just a champion for weebs to pick like Red Mercy. Next up, Jacob Martel asks, is Orianna and Lux decent right now? The answer is no. Okay, that's it for questions today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have a question about the mid lane, make sure to comment below on whatever you want me to talk about in the mid lane, and maybe you'll be featured in the next video. Anyways, if you guys did like this video,